Hey, everybody. So, I wanted to take a moment to really thank each and every one of you for being here this week. And because it was a lot for you to commit to improving your teaching skills as well as to improve your own practice. That takes a lot, and a lot of people don't even waste the time. So, I know we've got quality instructors and yogis here who's wanting to learn and improve in a big way. So we covered so much this week, you guys. And if you gain nothing out of it, hopefully you guys really, really learned how to engage your muscles and your body to create mind body mastery in ways you never thought possible. So that gave you some heads up in how you should conduct your yoga practice going forward. We learned about the first day how to activate the core to provide stability for your body to effectively move through the poses without injury. And then we also learned about alignment and the importance of paying attention to how you're aligned to promote health of your joints, gain strength, and improve strength and flexibility without injury. The third day, we talked about how to avoid compensation when improving flexibility and shared how there's a constant balance and counterbalance that keeps our body from strain and sprain. The fourth day, it was all about the gap in the yoga industry that most yogis are nurturing or recovering from injury, and the gap between post rehab and the fitness is so wide that if you're not meeting their needs, you're missing a huge opportunity. I also spoke to you about how you can gain clarity in exactly who you're serving and what the result that you deliver for your students to fill that gap. And as long as you do this, you'll never be out of clients. And that means a lot of income for you. And I want you to start thinking like your yoga as a business, to switch your mindset about not enough money to abundance of money. Sky's the limit, right? And fifth day, I shared about the alkaline method and how you apply the internal and external pillars to your practice to provide you with the framework to check yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. It's a great framework for you to remember and apply in everything that you do. And I told you that it goes beyond the yoga mat. Just like our yoga practice does, it goes beyond the yoga mat, you guys. And sixth day was all about the Q&A. And because we had so many amazing yogis participating, there were so many smart questions, and we discussed the modifications and therapeutics in Pigeon, Warrior One, Padattanasana, to name a few. Then the seventh day, yesterday, was all about how you can be the category of one and really help provide your students with the physical and mental breakthroughs in the practice of yoga. And I emphasized how the commitment to excellence is really a decision and is a state of mind that will help you to continue to level up to improve your skills, get paid, and do good in the world, which is exactly what yoga practice should do as yoga teachers. We heard from our amazing team alkaline teachers who's gone through the program to have breakthroughs in their physical body and mental shifts that they had, and how much they now have the confidence to be the best teachers all around. We heard from Elizabeth, who began her self-healing journey with yoga after hip surgery. We also heard from Gina, who's been the health nut all her life, from gymnastics to running, being an aerialist to Pilates and yoga, and how much she's realized how much she didn't know prior to the training, and how she's able to provide therapeutic services to those who need help and post rehab and confidently deliver those services to them. We also heard from Kate, who already had a certification in yoga, but how she's pursued post rehab physical therapy in her teacher training and committed to herself. And now she's a highly sought after yoga practitioner who dares to help heal her students while helping them get strong without injury in all of her classes. Today, I want to talk about daring to make a difference with your mission and your vision. Not many yoga teachers have this clear in at the forefront of their mind. We love Brené Brown's work in our yoga teacher training programs. Her book, Daring Greatly, is a go to for me personally for encouragement and for clarity when I hit a roadblock in just about anything I do in life. Here's what I do know that greatness is a decision, it must be chosen in order for you to dare greatly. Making this very choice is a defining moment in you becoming the category of one. But such defining moments require courage and a mindset shift to start believing, not in me, not in the program, not in everybody else, but believing in yourself. And choosing yourself is the first step. And most of us like to sit as spectators and watch others dare greatly because it's so much safer and easier. We don't risk anything. We don't risk criticism. We don't risk failing in that way. And when standing for something and creating your work, you do risk being criticized, judged, and failing all the time. We'd much rather live by default thinking and believing that life handed a card that you live out. Remember, we tend to validate our thoughts and beliefs by creating the results that match our thoughts. So if you look around your life and don't like the results you're getting from your yoga practice or the business or your life in general, it's time to be proactive and change the results that you're creating in your life because I'm here to tell you that it's all in your power. We need to start stepping into our power. And the only way to change the results you're creating is if you decide to change the thoughts and beliefs to create the exact result that you aspire. That, my friends, takes commitment and courage, right? I told you about the commitment. Once you commit, then you have to have muster up enough courage to show up, to gain the capability, and then only then do you cultivate enough confidence. It really takes faith in yourself, not faith in the path or the circumstances of life, but your path and belief in yourself. And so this really program is all about you choosing yourself. While we call our program a yoga teacher training program, it's so much more than that. The training will enable you to provide comprehensive services in the healthcare sector to help your students with using food as medicine, movement as medicine, and mindfulness as medicine, which collectively is included in the whole alkaline method. Plus, you'll learn how to build your yoga business both online or brick and mortar, whichever you choose. The work is all about the internal work of exploring and mastering your mind body mastery to achieve the dream and the life that you long to live. Again, it's all about stepping into your power to create the life that you want. I love this quote by Theodore Roosevelt, and it's the quote that I go back to when life throws curveballs and I'm gripped in fear. So here we go. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Love that quote. I really want you guys to hang it on your walls. If you got nothing out of that, take that away and really step into your power, you guys. No matter what you decide, where you decide to go, really remind yourself the power is in your hands. But this world today, too many of us give that power away. We get defeated before we even start anything. We fail ahead of time by not doing the thing at all. We choose to just sit on the sidelines. And many of us are busy just judging those who are doing that. And really, at the end of the day, it's life is all about really, really going after what you believe and what you want to create. Be proactive in your lives, you guys. There are increasing numbers of yoga teachers every single day that get graduated. Some go into ITT if it's not if not net I'm sorry. Some go into YTT to not necessarily to teach, but to learn how to improve their self practice. And and some envision having a yoga studio, while others just want to be yoga nomads who can be providing yoga classes virtually and or traveling the world providing retreats. No matter what vision you have for yourself in your pursuit of yoga business, I hope it's been clear for you to realize that only things that holds you back from daring greatly is really fear, lack of confidence, and perhaps we simply don't believe in ourselves. That's the biggest limitations, right? As I've been sharing with you through the course of the trainings together this week, the only thing that stands between you and your dreams is your willingness to commit. And commitment is being willing to be uncomfortable. It's willingness to fail forward over and over again. And it's not giving up until you achieve that goal. Because let me tell you, nothing worthwhile is really easy. It takes constant effort and living on the edges of fear and doing it anyway over and over again. Let me share a story with you. A phenomenal yoga teacher friend called me one day at my yoga studio and physical therapy practice and asked if I can help a student of hers to get her low back pain in control. She wanted to accompany this client of hers so she can learn how I assessed and see what I did to intervene in her care. So I began my assessment with this client who's been getting two private lessons with this, not only with her, but one other yoga teacher. And I was blown away by the fact that she could not activate her core. She couldn't even stand utilizing the activated muscles, but she was literally hanging on her bones. But she can go into these poses with no problems, thinking that she was doing correctly. It was almost sort of a cognitive dissonance and her disbelief, and she cried right before me as well as in front of the yoga teacher that's been training her. And it was a real insult for them, all of them. And I don't know how much she took away, but they left. And I realized, wow, there is such a need for us to either step up and really start helping or keep doing that in the name of yoga, provide privates and service them for years, not doing anything but except to learn the poses. But that's what I was saying, you guys. If you guys are on the outer realms and trying to go after the poses rather than really fit the poses to your body, like remember I told you the internal work is necessary to meet the practice of yoga, to fit the yoga practice to you and help fit the yoga practice to your students is really what this is all about. I've had a wellness center physical therapy practice for over 12 years now. I've had many yogis teach for me, and some like teaching to get their practice in for that hour. I've seen many people that just teach. And for them, it's their opportunity to get yoga practice in. And some don't want to, or they reject the in depth understanding. They'll look at me like just blink their eyes and want nothing to do with it. They just want to stick to what they were taught and keep teaching in exchange for the fees that they earn. There's nothing wrong about that, I suppose, right? But then there are those who are into also spiritual and meditational aspects to where they believe really physical alignment and really the whole practice of really being aware in your body is really secondary to evolving spiritually. So I've had so many yogis come through and really get to know them. And mind you, they're all exceptional teachers in their own right. But I hope you guys saw how we have this gap in the market. If you do have mechanical and structural injuries that you're nursing, you want to be there for those clients and show up in the way that you need to service them, to ease the pain and keep them out of injury. Not only that, rehab them back. All the above, like I said, are great teachers. I'm not down talking anybody because it's the same thing in the field of medicine, right? Doctors are there to provide you with what? Medications or surgical interventions. That's what they're taught. We're taught in medical school, they're taught pathology. So all they think about is disease. And they're really quick to tell patients like me that disease is incurable and that you need to rely on these medications to keep me sick but stable. That's what healthcare industry is. And I hope you guys got some sense of understanding that we're creating so many technicians that are not thinking on their own 2 feet and using their brain, the power that they have to critically think about what's best and what's going to best to get them from point A to point B. It's not regurgitating information, you guys. It's all about you applying the principles. And if you're principally centered, you can help so many people overcome their barriers in such meaningful ways. And it's such an edifying profession, is what I'm trying to get at, right? So I want you guys to really own who you are, really up level your ability to heal the people. I told you how much power you have in a class as a yoga teacher as you step in to teach the class. All your students are looking to is to you to provide care for them, to teach them. But if all you're doing is just the poses and you're good with that, okay, all the power to you. But I hope you take away how much injury that can be had with that kind of surface level education and perpetuating that in your classes. And that's where I want to call those of you who want to go deeper in really being responsible with the information enough to call yourselves and up level your yoga practice as teachers to call yourselves practitioners of this healing modality. And that's what I shared with you this past week is no matter what you do, you'll make a positive impact, right? In a yoga class. The question is, do you want to dare to go above and beyond what's the norm, to commit to excellence and dare greatly towards your mission and vision of the practice of yoga, whatever that looks like? For many of you, it may not be today, it may not be next year, but one day you'll realize that in order for you to be setting yourself apart in this echo chamber that we're creating, you must gain mastery in your craft. So I just want to call those of you, alkaline method is all about limiting the echo chamber because everybody's pretty much saying the same thing in a different way in the yoga setting. It's, however, do you know how many Instagrammers who are influencers really, really demonstrating their flexibility? It's so many of them, you get lost in these beautiful bodies, and after a while, they don't set themselves apart. It's all about the poses and how their body can go into it, right? Or if you go into the yogic world, or let's kind of veer off into the nutritional world, it's all about saying the same concepts. Another form of Whole 30 or the paleo diets or even the keto, it's saying the same concepts, just regurgitating information without really having meaningful contact with whoever is getting that message. So I'm all about really filling that void because I myself have been a very confused patient. And I also have been for a long time a technician chasing after the information, trying to do this linear education to try to stay in my lane and try with this to stay within the scope of practice that I'm taught to stay in to try to do any good. But I realized how much limits I was putting by following the rules. And so I'm not talking about being obnoxious and breaking the rules and pretending like you know everything when you don't, but really filling the void within. Fill yourself with the knowledge because I'm a believer that knowledge is power. It's something nobody can take away. So the more you learn, don't be one of those people because we talked about how knowledge is not anything, it's just a rumor. until our bodies know it. So it's all about you gaining mastery over your mind and body, and then only then can you move away to teach what you've learned so that you can get it in the bodies of your students in a safe manner. And then the third part is gaining mastery over the therapeutics of yoga, contraindications, special modifications, special considerations, verbal cues, tactile cues. I hold nothing back in our alkaline method specialist training, because that's what you need to really level up and to meet your students where they are, because they're looking at you. I told you, commodity based medical system where physical therapists are failing their patients because we have to operate when we're in network with these third party payers. We only have so much time to spend with our patients. Not only that, they only allow certain levels of visits. So a lot of them are falling through the cracks. And where are they going? They're going to the yoga studios or personal fitness trainers. They're going everywhere else where only to really get re injured again. And not to mention, many yogis are getting injured, right? And so don't be part of that statistic. The question is really comes down to, what kind of yoga teacher do you want to be? Or do you want to strive to be? Being one of many, or being in the category of one, making a serious impact in the lives of the students that you serve. Because it's a service mindset, right? You want to impact patients in a very, very meaningful way, because that's what they're needing, you guys. And I used to be on the receiving end of yoga, and I really would have loved a caring, compassionate, knowledgeable yoga teacher who'd have taken me through the healing process. And to me, money would have been secondary, because I had an autoimmune condition I had to nurse through. And for that, I was having aches and pains in my regular yoga practice. And so this is me signing up for yoga teacher training, and then only to find out that there lacks so much quality and the level of education in anatomy and physiology, so much so I had to come out and I had to create a teacher training program that sets us apart in ways. And now I want to extend that to you. I want to remind you that we have open cart right now in our program, and we are accepting new alkaline method students. And we're not like other programs. It's super hard, it's challenging. We like go-getters, we like serious students. You've heard from our students, they're leveling up all the time. Gina is learning all the time. Kate asks the most intelligent questions. Elizabeth, oh my goodness, that brain of hers is always at work asking questions. She works so hard to refine her craft. It's almost amazing what kind of quality students we have. And because of that, they're highly sought after. They command, but even then, they're always looking to improve. And we really want to open this up for those of you who want to level up in that way. And we want to be very careful that we don't take anybody who just want to wish-washy through, because there's too many programs out there that will give you just that. But if you're really serious and you want Harvard level, Ivy League level training in yoga, that's going to allow you to do so much more. I want to invite you to work with me and my team, because I've designed the program to fill the need of the yoga industry. Not only yoga industry, you guys, it's the whole nutrition industry, the physical therapy industry. I'm trying to fill the gap, right? To make sure that once you're done with the training, you not only know how to improve your own body, but teach your students with the alkaline method pillars. Then the bonus is that you'll learn the therapeutics of yoga, the mindfulness, the art of adjustments, special considerations, and contraindications to be the expert teacher who can meet the students where they are and modify just about anything. Lastly, the business of yoga will be taught to get clarity on your niche, your business model. That means how you're going to get money or how you're going to get paid, the marketing, the sales, and learning the digital platforms to scale your business if you wanted to, so that you can keep growing your business. Because if you're not getting paid and if you're starving, there's no way you can help make an impact. So I don't want you guys to shy away from talking about money, right? You need to understand how you get paid to support your life. Because if you're not able to afford that, then there's just no way you can meet the needs of your market. You'll be invited also to participate in 3 5 full day immersions with me. And I've had a lot of questions from all over the world because we've got you from Singapore, from Australia, from England, all over the United States, not to mention Canada. We have 5 day immersions that you can Zoom in. We use GoToMeeting, but it's going to be live streamed to meet you so that you can partake if you can't be here. Highly recommend that you make it to our practice because it'll be so worth it. Eventually, when the world opens up, I will be traveling to destinations in Europe, in California, all the destinations that we need to be at to make this a full immersion retreat that we can have fun together, getting to know each other as we grow. Get the practice in your body first and have mind body mastery for yourself. That's the goal of this teacher training, right? Then the next 4 months, that's the first 4 months. And then the next 4 months will be all about your teaching. You'll be provided with over 80 poses, you guys, with video tutorials breaking down each pose on how to safely go into and out of the poses utilizing the alkaline method. And it's me on the camera. And I even give you scripts so that you have the words to use and know what cues I'm looking for in the biomechanics as you take your students through. I found that that was really helpful and that's really served my students really well. I've really had to make this program robust to make sure that at the end of the teaching training that you have the ability to implement everything that you learn to create the business. Because again, the norm is, and 200-hour teacher training is all about teaching, not even focus on getting it in your body, but it's all about the teaching and you being able to teach and being able to teach in front of the class. And just that alone, our yoga teaching training program was so much. You ask my team, it was a lot. They really did go through a lot, and it's a lot for a lot of people. But that's because I have the bar pretty high, and that's why it's not for everybody, you guys, but it's for those of you who really want to be serious about creating the business that makes sense for you so that you can really take your customers and your clients through to go from A to Z with no questions asked. And for 12 months, I'm going to provide you with accountability and the coaching. And you've got online modules for every single one of them, not to mention a private Facebook group like this where you ask away and I come live in real time to answer any questions you might have while you're teaching your students so that you can know exactly what to do. But also, it's going to be really, really, really beneficial for you because you really get to be clear on who are you serving. Right? We talked about how is it postmenopausal women that you want to help so that they can get stronger, so that they don't end up in a wheelchair or they don't end up with a replaced hip or knee, whatever, right? We lose mobility, we start to die. Inflammation is what gets us. Aging process is really hard on the body. What you're teaching people do is to decrease the aging process and really decrease the inflammatory processes in the body to create health for them. And it's all about the way you speak and how you convey your message to make this meaningful to your clients. So you'll have clients just lined up to work with you, but you have to be really, really clear about the population that you serve, knowing the need of the market and getting really clear. You want to get away from this generalist mindset of being a yoga teacher. A lot of you have asked at the end of the day, is this just a yoga teacher training? Because I've got a certification, right? You get so much more than that. It's you have to break out of that mold into thinking, I'm just a yoga teacher. I have 2 certifications. No, that's not what this is about. It's becoming an alkaline method practitioner who uses movement as medicine, mindfulness as medicine, as well as to know how to use food as medicine. I can't tell you how many yoga teachers I've gone to or yoga classes that I've gone to who would talk about fasting with yoga, give me nutritional advice that is completely bizarre to me. And so I always want there to be some scientific relevance to why you're saying certain things, even in the field of nutrition. Because I told you about the importance of fascia in our body and the inflammation that can have that we can cultivate within. And that requires a lot of knowledge with the nutritional sciences to really take your clients in the right path to decrease inflammatory cytokines in the body, to not only improve strength, but also endurance, muscle contractibility, as well as stretch. Because stiffness comes when the myofascial tissue, the fascia, becomes very sticky. And that's because of poor dietary habits. I utilize Ayurvedic medicine principles as well as traditional Chinese medicine principles, and I layer that to juxtapose all the westernized medicine principles in the field of functional medicine, as well as different macrobiotic principles to kind of understand the full depth so that you can play with the polarity of the information to make sense for you and then make sense for your clients. So day one, dollar one, you can work with the mind of your clients in a way that they can move efficiently and to coach them through so they can make the right decisions to select the right foods, as well as to know exactly what foods to select and really match the poses to suit their body in a way and modify it in a way so that it meets the needs of your clients. This is a huge gift that you'll be giving to the market. My passion is to drive this brand in this way. Please, 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 if you do nothing, you gained a lot of knowledge from me this week. And all the lessons are under units on the left side of our private Facebook group. Those of you who are watching this on YouTube and listening to this on my podcast, please join our Alkaline Community Yoga group in Facebook. We'll link it here down below. So join so that you can have access to this. I'm committed to making or elevating the practice of yoga as a healing modality so that I can meet the needs of patients just like me, as well as the patients that I service, so that I can up level the trainings with my yoga teachers. So if you're in this group, all the power to you. It's not over. All the contents might go away, but we continue to go live. We're going to nurture you. We're going to hold together as a community. But if you come on board and you decide to work with me, and please know that the carts will be closing tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Tuesday night at midnight for this class. So please take us up on it and make sure you sign up. And it's an opportunity, it's an investment in you, you guys. I told you guys, it's going to be years of education that I've gotten in over 30 years of getting the didactics and getting the experience clinically, as well as to get post doctoral level education. So it's a lot of money that I've personally spent in my own education. And I continue, not bat an eye, to continue to get the education that I need so that I can always level up. Because again, to me, knowledge is power. And I know I'm worth it because I'm doing good for the world by doing good. But you have to figure out the business model so that you can continue the passionate practice that you have in yoga so that you can sustain your growth in financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually so you can be the best version of yourselves. And I just wanted to take the time. Please link below. Leslie will link. And we have Gina, Kate, and Leslie waiting to talk with you. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to them. They'll all be linked below. Get on the calls, get your questions answered, and really invest in you. It's all about choosing you to make a difference and really level up, you guys. And to me, again, education is something that no one can take away. And don't really limit yourself in your thoughts about what yoga teacher is. Rather, think differently, disrupt the thinking in this industry, really come and step into your power and empower yourself to take the step forward every single day. It's really about you believing in you and your capability. I'll be the coach and the guide every step along the way to hold you up and hold the space so that the growth can be had. I'm one who's constantly growing, and I will always level up, and it gets easier and easier. I've become so much more efficient. Those who know me, they know I set the bar pretty high. They think I'm superwoman. I'm not. It's just the more knowledge you gain, everything becomes so much easier. When the dots become like they come together to where you can connect the dots. Oh my gosh, you guys, the amount of success you'll have, it blows my mind. And I don't know how else to really communicate this to you. But again, thank you for partaking in this training. I highly recommend that you take a step forward in you and really step into your power. Work with me because I want to work with you. And I hope to continue to see you in this group. But I also want to rather see you in another group where I can really hold you to your best self and help you to really, really level up and become the best version of yourselves. Thank you so much. Please ask away any last minute questions you want answered. Please answer. And thank you so much. This has been such a privilege for me to come live and get to know you guys all over the world. This is just the beginning of our alkaline method, and I'm going to keep sharing the caveats with you and learning pearls. So stay tuned, and thank you for all the DMs you've sent us and sent me and the emails that you've sent. Thank you for engaging with me, and have a great day, and I'll see you guys all soon.